Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are having a great day so far. So quick addressing of the elephant in the room. You'll never guess what, we've only gone and moved again. Do you know why? Because who doesn't love rearranging things for hours and hours on end, multiple times in the year? Who doesn't love it? Because I know I can't get enough. Reason we have moved again is because I was really struggling with setting up and breaking down my equipment every single time I wanted to film, because we were based in my bedroom and I didn't want lights everywhere and tripods and cameras just permanently in my bedroom, because when people come round, they're gonna talk. They are gonna talk. That is hard to explain. So yeah, I decided I wanted to move to a space where I could just walk in, put my camera on and film, and so here we are in a new space yet again, and hopefully you guys enjoy it, and it is certainly going to be easier for me. So there's that elephant addressed. So today we are going to be reviewing the Shiseido Synchro Skin Self-Refreshing Foundation. I fully had no intention of picking this foundation up because, let's be honest, we've all had enough of foundations over the last month or so. But a few people who I really love and trust have reviewed this foundation and been obsessed with it. Mel and my friend Tara, and also I saw Tati's review on it as well, and it just looked beautiful on them, and they've been really enjoying it and saying some amazing things about it. So it just tempted me enough that I wanted to try it, and it is now widely available in the UK, which it wasn't previously. So it is everywhere now in the UK. I got mine from Feel Unique because I had a 15% off, which is the second reason I was tempted to pick it up. Everything you need to know about this foundation's claims will be on the screen for you. Now, I actually did my wear test a few days ago, so I will insert the footage of me applying this foundation. Now, it comes with this twist cap and then a pump, so it's just a quick twist and then a pump action. My pump has got a little bit messy, but nothing mega. As far as consistency, it's not kind of mega watery or thin, but it's also not thick either. And it does have a fairly noticeable scent as you're applying it. And I'd say it's kind of a mix between the sort of MAC Studio Fix paint type smell with a bit of SPF mixed in. The first thing I noticed was how smooth and quick this blended. It was very easy to apply. As you can see, I'm using a brush because that's my preferred method with this foundation. I have now tried it 4 or 5 times, and each time I've preferred the brush over using a sponge, just because it builds coverage quicker. And with the consistency of this foundation, I've just found that's the easiest way for me without using more product to get the same coverage. So straight off the bat, this gives me a medium coverage. I use 3 pumps of this, but they're not huge pumps. But I use 3 pumps to do my whole face, and it gives me a full coverage. So I definitely agree that it's a medium buildable coverage. It's probably on the more natural side of full, but I would definitely say it's like buildable to about a full coverage. It covers all my redness, all my discoloration very quickly off the bat. It really tones everything down. The real unique thing about this foundation for me is how it looks in lines. It really does not go into lines at all. My smile lines, when I first applied this, I was like, it's nowhere there. It's not in my forehead lines. It's not creasing anywhere. It's super smooth, super natural looking, very beautiful, gorgeous, luminous, but not too dewy or oily looking finish. It is just absolutely beautiful on the skin, very natural, but yet still covering. I really like the undertones of this foundation. I picked up the shade Maple, which for me, I was hoping it was going to be kind of a transitional shade. As you can see, it's definitely lighter on my face than my body is, but we are now kind of moving into autumn and winter in the UK, so I know that in a few months I won't be able to use a deeper shade than this. So I wanted to pick up a shade that I can wear now, bronze up, and it'll be fine, but it will also be fine, you know, come Christmas. So that's what I chose this shade for. So if you are my current shade twin, this will be too light for you. If you are around an NC30, this will probably be a nice shade for you. So I'd say this is the shade Maple. It's probably an NC30 to maybe 35. A lovely kind of natural olive undertone, and I really liked that about it. I think they have really nice natural undertones in this foundation. I've seen it really look beautiful on lots of different skin tones, so I feel like they've got a decent shade range and undertone range. It stays pretty tacky, so if you don't like that, you will need to set it. I have worn this both set with my By Terry Hyaluronic Tinted Powder and also not set. Today I did not set it, and I applied all my powders over the top, bronzer, blush and highlight, and did not have a problem, but it does stay slightly tacky. So if you don't like that, you will obviously prefer to set it down. I did do a flash test, and shockingly, I don't really see much of a bounce back or a flashback with this foundation, despite it having SPF 30 in it. And I really tried, like it was dark. I did some of these flash tests photos at night because I was determined that this was going to flash back and give me a white cast, but I really didn't see any noticeable white cast at all. So I would say you're fairly safe with the flashback with this foundation. It didn't seem to give me one at all, which was, I was shocked. I was really expecting one. So for the first check-in, this was at about 9:30 at night. I applied the foundation at 1:30, so this was the sort of 8-hour check-in. I had been on the school run, I had my lunch, I had my dinner, we'd been at a soft play after dinner because I was treating my kids. We got home, I'd done bedtime, bath time, etc. So a pretty full-on day. It was also really drizzling on this day, so in all of my kind of running back and forth to school, to the car, to the soft play, back to home, I was definitely getting drizzled on my face, and I did not see any kind of dots where the rain had touched my face. So I wouldn't necessarily say it was waterproof. Like, I think if you go swimming, it's probably going to come off your face, but it is certainly resisting like light rain and things like that. Running around, it was a kind of muggy day, not hot, but I feel like this did go through a fairly thorough wear test, shall we say. I was with my kids in the soft play, so lots of cuddling, face touching, hands grabbing my face. I wouldn't necessarily say it was transfer proof because it does stay tacky, it doesn't set down like a rock. So I will think if you are rubbing or like pressing on your face, you'll probably notice some on your hand, and it will certainly be one that if you sort of pulled your jumper over your face, you'd get makeup on your jumper for sure. But under all of those conditions, you know, cuddling my kids, all those kind of things, I didn't notice any makeup on them, on me, on my clothes. So I will say that it's certainly not one that is going to be moving everywhere, coming off all over the place either, which for a lovely glowy finish, that is quite unusual. So I was really happy with that. So at the 8-hour mark, the only things really to notice are that my forehead has got slightly shiny, and it has slightly sunk in at that point to my deeper smile line only slightly. The foundation never really went into the smaller one. It was only in my deeper one, and only like towards the 8-hour mark was the first time it was even in there at all, and only then very slightly, which was amazing. Everything else is still looking really good. Blush, bronzer is still showing. I'm not super oily. I haven't got too shiny. There is no signs of wearing away or breaking up or anything like that. The next check-in was 2 hours later at 11:30. So this is now the 10-hour mark, and super impressive. The only difference here between the 8 and the 10 is that we have got even more shiny in various areas like my forehead and around my nose, and I have noticed some wearing off around my hairline, which I'm pointing out to you, and that was really the only kind of decrease that we've seen between 8 and 10-hour mark. Again, I did not set this foundation. I did not use a setting spray. This was just the foundation by itself. So obviously if you use a powder and a setting spray, then you would be in an even better place at the 8 and 10-hour mark than I was with it completely unset. So there you have it. I am blown away by this foundation. I know everyone's going to be wanting me to tell you where this ranks out of all the foundations I've been testing over the last month or so during Foundation Geddon. So honestly, this is the 4th or 5th time I think I've worn this foundation today, and I absolutely love it. I think I will probably end up liking this more than any of those other foundations I reviewed and that I summarized in my foundation ranking video. I'm pretty sure this is my new #1 of those foundations. In order to say against my kind of foundations I've had for longer, my ride or die foundations, I probably want to give it a bit more time. but honestly, I couldn't tell you one that I liked more than this right now. I think I like this as much as my Rodial. I think I like it as much as my Laura Mercier, my Tainted Doll, you know, my Ride or Dies. It's definitely possible I may end up liking this more, but I think I need to give it a bit longer. But I can't tell you anything I don't like about this foundation. It's glowy and luminous, but the perfect amount. It doesn't get more and more and more glowy throughout the day to an extent where it looks oily and too much, especially not if you do set it lightly. It's so smoothing, it's really long wearing, it does not soak into lines, barely at all, even when unset. I absolutely love it. You don't need a huge amount. I feel like it's a decent price. I like the packaging. I literally cannot tell you a one thing that I don't like about this. Oh, and I must remember to tell you that it feels super lightweight, super lightweight. That is the one thing I think I forgot to tell you, is that it feels like no foundation on. Feels like nothing, feels hydrated, just feels light and fresh on the skin, which is really important, I know, to lots of you. So there you have it. I'd love to know if you guys have tried this. It is just beautiful on the skin and I have been obsessed with it. So I'd love to know what your experiences are, what your skin type is down below and how you've got on with this one. I think it is really special. And I don't say that often. Obviously today's foundation review has been slightly different to how I usually do it, just because of my current circumstances with my husband working away. I've had to kind of do it how I've been able to do it. So yeah, I hope that this has been okay and that you've enjoyed this review versus how I usually do them. But if I did forget to say anything, or there's something, a question that you guys have, please hit me up in the comments down below and I'll try my best to help you as much as I can. I hope you enjoyed this video, otherwise I will see you in the next one. Take care for now. Bye 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 bye.